Something strange is happening. Something really strange is happening. The world's most powerful nations are suddenly paying attention to Africa again. And they are not doing it this time with speeches, not with clarity, but with military bases. And they are doing so with military strategies, trade deals, negotiations. And you ask me, I will tell you, this is not development. This is power. Power in its real form, the struggle for power. And Africa is at the center of all of this. Africa has become the bride, a beautiful bride being courted left, right, and center by superpowers of this world. Now, the pattern of history appears to be repeating. Remember the Berlin Conference of 1884, the partitioning of Africa that gave Africa into the hands of Europe and countries of the world. Partitioned Africa and distributed it. This one took that one. This one took this part. Are we heading back there? So, what has changed? Why is Africa suddenly that beautiful bride once again? What has changed? But the truth is that the world suddenly does not love Africa. The world needs Africa. So, what is it that has changed that the world's attention has turned to Africa? What is it that suddenly Africa is the bride of all the superpowers? This is what I want you to take note of. From Cairo to Zimbabwe, from Nigeria to the eastern part of Africa, and all of these segments of this beautiful continent. The United States, Russia, France, and the other big powers. You talk about China, all of them are interested in Africa. Now, the reason is simple. The big powers want Africa. They need Africa. It is about military strength. It's about control of military power. This is what is at the core of the interest, the sudden interest in Africa. The United States wants military control. It wants influence. China is building infrastructure in African countries, left and right. They are about trade. Russia is looking at security and political power. Russia is also interested. Remember, Russia has a group. Russia, India, Brazil, and the others have a group called BRICS. They are also interested in Africa. The other time, BRICS met in South Africa. So you can see the trend. And European Union is talking about trade, migration, and similar topics like that. But in the face of all of this, there are things no one is talking about. Have you heard about US AFRICOM? US AFRICOM stands for United States Africa Command. Wow. United States Africa Command. And with that command, the US is influencing, the US is watching what's going on in Africa. And of course, they are doing a great job tackling terrorism, helping African countries to fight terrorism, to be able to bring peace in many parts of Africa. That's beautiful, no doubt. And France also has bases in Africa, a lot of them. We know that France is in Cote d'Ivoire, they are in Cameroon, they are in Niger, they are in many African countries. At the same time, China is building infrastructure. China is in many parts of Africa, developing African countries, supporting them with loans and all other things that China is doing. And these superpowers are supporting Africa with aid. Aid is flowing quietly but powerfully. African countries are being supported with aid. That's beautiful, isn't it? But what does this mean to Africa? In the face of all of this, what does it mean to Africa? Number one, Africa is concerned about the control of its resources, which the superpowers are also interested in. And African currencies are becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. And then debt is increasing. African countries are going into deeper, into greater debts. The debt profile of African countries is increasing. So it's a source of concern, isn't it? Now, the big question is, will Africa finally negotiate from a position of strength? In the face of all of this, how will Africa navigate? How will Africa negotiate? Will Africa accept what the world powers are bringing and surrender all that the continent has, the endowment, the natural resources, and the weakening of African currencies? These are questions that African leaders need to ponder upon because, of course, the world powers are also doing well in Africa. They are supporting. But how does Africa put this, balance it, marry it with the realities that I've talked about? How will Africa do this? Trade issues, weakening of the currency. Africa is not poor. Africa is priceless. But who truly understands Africa? My name is Teve Akasi, and this is the Media Periscope. I will see you again.